We're on air. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Easy Rant Show. We have so much to discuss. We got boxing, football, basketball, legacy talk. I'm excited. You see what I'm wearing. We're going to get into that. Shedeur, baby. We're going to get into it. We're going to throw the wrist up a little bit. But right now, I want to get into boxing because that's what started it off. Saturday night, Saturday evening, we had Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. This is a legacy fight. Their fathers fought back in the 90s. Boxing is in a really good space, like I've said before. We got Devin Haney and Brian Norman fighting this Saturday. I can't wait for it. But this Chris Eubank and Conor Benn fight, this was their second fight. Chris Eubank dominated the first fight, won by decision. This fight, though, Conor Benn put the brakes on Chris Eubank. He put the brakes on it. But nonetheless, it was entertaining. Conor Benn did win. And this is all just sets up for a third fight that we all want to see. You know, who doesn't want to see the Eubanks come out again? This is a great story. This is a trilogy now. And me as a bettor, I should have known that, you know, in fights like this, it's either going to be a draw or it's going to go to the underdog because of this. That's all it is. Look at Triple G and Canelo. Even though it was a draw in that fight, some say Triple G should have won. But it was a great fight. Can't wait to see them fight again. And, you know, hopefully there's no weight restrictions or rehydration clause because I want to see the fighters at the best. But this is boxing. This is a combat sport. They have it in UFC. Got to have it in boxing too, vice versa. So it is what it is. Nature of the beast. But what I really want to get into today, guys, is football. We had a great weekend of football, NFL. Let's start off with the MVP duel that we had with Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen. One thing's for sure, another thing's for certain. Josh Allen is the MVP right now. He is. But is that good for the Bills? I don't know. Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, you know, it's good for him. But like I said, I don't think it's good for the team. This team has been the same team for about 3 to 4 years. They've been in contention for the AFC Championship divisional round. They either lost to Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes. That's it. Are these receivers going to do that against those defenses? Is that defense going to be able to hold up against those offenses? I don't know. And then when you add in the pressure, it's tough. The Bills don't have a legitimate number 1 receiver. Tyrell Shavers, he almost had 100 yards. He had a touchdown. Khalil Shakir, Ty Johnson. It's not possible. Like, you go into a playoff game and that's who you're relying on. It's just not going to work. Like I said, he had 6 touchdowns from Josh Allen. And, you know, it's good now in November, but in January, I don't think it's going to cut it. And, you know, right now the cards are set. The trade deadline has passed. They didn't make any moves. So, you know, they feel comfortable. So we'll see. We'll see. The AFC is going to come down to about 4 teams. 3 teams with legit chances. 4 teams or 5 teams total. 2 teams else have an outside chance between. Besides the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills, you have the Patriots and the Colts. That's it. That's all you have. So, it's going to be tough. But we know who the 3-headed horse is over there. Patty, Josh, Lamar. You get through those, you're going to be in February. The Bills go to 7-3. They're second in the AFC East. Their key games left are the Patriots, Pittsburgh, and Philly. It's really tough. 7 games left in the season. So those 3 games, they're going to be tough, especially if you want to be first in your division or first in the AFC, for that matter. You know, it's going to be tough. Patriots, they beat them the first game. And they beat the Bills at home. So this is going to be tough. I don't know Aaron Rodgers' health-wise what his wrist is right now, but that's going to be interesting. We have the Eagles. Eagles are the best team right now in the league by far. The Buccaneers fall to 6-4, but they're still first in their division in the NFC South. But the Panthers are creeping up. I know one Panthers fan in my life. I don't know what made him stick around with him. He's been tormented, laughed at. And every team, every fan base should have this opportunity to just, grow with their squad and roll with their roller coasters. Some teams have not been on roller coasters. Some teams have been on the Titanic, i.e. the Jets and the Giants, the Browns, the Lions, even though the Lions have been soaring the past few years, so got to take them out. The Dolphins. So, like I said, fans want to be able to roll on the roller coaster with the team, but they don't want to sink with them. So, Panthers fans, your last run was about 10 years ago with Cam Newton. I salute you guys for standing strong. I like seeing Bryce Young play. He was electric. I mean, he was a #1 pick for obvious reasons. He's electric on the field, Alabama, you couldn't touch him. But when he came to the NFL, we've seen a big discrepancy from him outside the pocket making plays. He's not a pocket quarterback. He has to move out the pocket in order to be really good. He's accurate, but he just has to, he's developing. I like it. I want to see him succeed. I like Bryce Young. But their schedule is not easy. They faced the Bucs twice. So it's going to come down to that last game. The Buccaneers and Panthers, it's the story of the NFC South. They have the two best teams in that division usually are the Bucs or the Saints. This time, Bucs and Panthers. It's going to come down to that one game. But it's funny seeing Bryce Young play because all he does is smile. So when you're betting against him, you think you got an easy dub, and you're rooting for guys to tackle him. You want guys to. He's 5'9" out there. You want to see somebody put their elbow through his jaw, but they can't tackle him. He's dipping and dodging through tackles, slipping through tackles. It's funny, but I love seeing it. I love seeing it play. I want to see how that division is going to play out. It's going to be very interesting. We're going to breeze by this Jacksonville Jaguars and Chargers game. I'm not a big fan of either team. I think they're both mundane. I think the Jags are the Jags. Even though they beat the Chiefs this year by a very lucky play, the fourth and goal, the goal line situation where Trevor Lawrence fell down and nobody tackled him. He ran in Scott's free in the end zone. Whatever. That's their highlight of the season. You can have it. But they did beat the brakes off the Chargers, though. Let's be clear. They did. The Chargers are the Chargers as well. Very mundane team, not a high-flying team. Defense is their claim to fame is their coach. That's it. Jim Harbaugh's a great personality. He did resurrect this team to a certain measure. He brought them back to winning terms. But I don't see them competing. They might win a game in the playoffs. They might beat the Steelers or something, depending on who they're matched up with, of course. But I don't see them really making any noise. The Jags go to 6-4, but they face the Colts twice. And they face the Broncos. So that's 3 games in your remaining 7 that you can possibly lose. So they might fall out of contention very quick. In the early slate, we had Washington versus Miami overseas. Obviously Washington is missing Jaden Daniels. They're out of the playoff hunt. They're done. Marcus Mariota, you tried your best, but you can only do so much. Their star of the show, even though it wasn't much, you have to talk about Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel is one of the most exciting players in the league. And it's been a pleasure to just watch him play his whole career. We really haven't seen a player of his caliber in a very long time. Maybe Terrell Owens, but he wasn't a gadget player. Deebo Samuel was a gadget player. We've seen Deebo Samuel line up in the backfield, the slot, X, motion, just, jet sweeps, punt return, kick return, you name it, he's done it. Like I said, he's one of the most exciting players to watch, and he does it in such a fashion, just running through somebody's face, always falling forward, breaking tackles. Um, you know, I love seeing him play the Cowboys, especially when he was with the 49ers, because 49ers and Cowboys, that rivalry, those jerseys just mesh so well. And the way he just took the Dallas Cowboys souls. Cowboys, I know you guys just coming off of a dub against the Raiders. You guys are feeling good, but you guys are scared of Deebo Samuel. I know you guys are. So I was thinking when I was watching Deebo Samuel, I said, who are some of the most exciting players that I have personally seen through my years? And I came up with a list. I have Deebo Samuel, just spoke about him. George Pickens. George Pickens is one of the best young receivers in the league by far. He's one of the most exciting players that you have to look out for. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was putting up highlight plays with Mason Rudolph and Russell Wilson as his quarterback for the Steelers. And we see how bad Russell Wilson is now. So if you're able to win with him, George Pickens, he breaks tackles. He makes one-handed catches. He's tough. He's slippery. He can take any catch and take it to the crib as well. He's a highlight machine, It hurts him that he's just now getting to the Cowboys, because if he started his career here or in a San Francisco, a Giants, a highlight, a marquee team, he would be a household name. But instead, he started his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers when they weren't the best team, Like I said, Mason Rudolph, Russell Wilson, not a good quarterback combo to have. But I wish we would have seen him play with Aaron Rodgers and DK, that matchup. I was looking forward to it coming into the season, to be quite honest with you. But it just didn't happen. But now he's with CeeDee Lamb, way better. And Dak Prescott. He's having a heck of a year. He's got 7 games left. He's going to be looking to get that contract coming up soon. Shout out George Pickens. George Pickens, I'm rooting for you, man. You're one of the best young receivers that we have. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers that I have seen in my life. He's not just a go route guy. He can take any pass you want and just woo. I mean, he's always doing this to players. Deuces. If you can throw up a emoji while running to the end zone, you're a bad man. And like I said, he's just not a go route guy. He can take a bubble screen, a slant, an in route, a corner route, any play he can get, any catch he could get, he's gone. He's electric. Punt return, kick return, you name it. He can take anything to the crib. Put up 1,500 yards, 1,400 yards, you name it. Double-digit touchdown seasons with Mahomes, with Tua. So, people thought that Patrick Mahomes made him. It's not the case. When he went to Miami, he still was putting up numbers, still was putting up results. And, he's still one of the best receivers. Hopefully he bounces back from his injury. We'd love to see him play. The league needs him. Next, we have OBJ. OBJ, what can I say? Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but I'm a Giants fan. He's probably my most favorite player that I've had on the Giants. He had grown men painting their hair blonde in an afro and in a mohawk, excuse me. I just love this sign. I got this sign over the weekend. We're celebrating my birthday. Got this as a gift. So we're just going to add to this wall. We're going to just add, we got the Son of Man up there. Got the on there. We're on there. Like I said, I love that sign. But back to OBJ. OBJ had grown men painting their hair blonde with mohawks, kids with mohawks. Just aura, as everybody says nowadays. But to his actual play style, he was unstoppable in his prime. He could take any play and do it in the one-hand catches, the slants, the toe taps, you name it. And he did it with energy, passion, And people tried to fault him with that and say he was a diva and he was a hard-head guy and he doesn't have the game on, like he's not focused on the game, i.e. the yacht photo. Listen, when that brother was on the field, people feared him. The best cornerbacks couldn't guard him. Richard Sherman, Josh Norman, anybody. Everybody had trouble with him. I'm sad he was traded away, unfortunately, but I digress. He's one of the greatest receivers in my lifetime that I've seen. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can do it in the pocket, out the pocket, not looking, throw it 80 yards down the field, scramble around. He's the man, you know. Patrick Mahomes, he could give Tom Brady a run for his money. He had to clean up his act though, because Brady got 7 rings. Mahomes got 3. But we'll see. The Chiefs can, for all we know, win it this year, you know, so who knows. But next we got Randy Moss. I want to get Patrick Mahomes some more love. He's one of the most clutchest quarterbacks we've ever seen. Talented quarterbacks. And, I mean, ever since he has one of the most successful starts of all time. He started in 2018 and just took off. Brady always had the season record for 50 touchdowns in the season. That was broken by Peyton Manning later on with the Denver Broncos in 2013. But Mahomes in his first season starting had 50 touchdowns. I believe he had 5,000 yards or close to it. That's unheard of. And then it's AFC Championship, Super Bowl, AFC Championship, AFC. The guy knows nothing but winning. That's it. So you can't fault him for that. The league is in a better place with Patrick Mahomes. Like I said, we have Randy Moss, Mr. Moss. You got Mossed, Calvin Johnson, Megatron. We got Ray Lewis. We got J.J. Watt. We got Earl Thomas. I want to throw Richard Sherman in there too, because he was exciting to watch. But I love seeing Earl Thomas fly around. Him and Cam Chancellor just flying around, smacking people, just making impact plays on the ball. I got Earl Thomas over Ed Reed too. Earl Thomas, to me, just flew around more. Like he did it with that defense was just very swaggy. Like that cover 6, man, it was amazing. A player that I love watching, Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski, to me, and by a lot of people, is the greatest tight end of all time. Travis Kelce is giving him a run for his money because Travis Kelce does it in a different way. He's more receiver-esque and route running-esque. But let me make myself clear. When you could throw 3 people, you could drag 3 people in the end zone, grown men whose job is to stop you, you're a bad man. I seen Gronkowski drag 3 people in the end zone. I seen him line up as an X-receiver and do his thing. He's a highlight machine. I love watching him play. I love playing with him on Madden. And, you know, even in his later years in Tampa Bay, he still, with his big mitts, helped Tampa Bay win a Super Bowl. So, shout out Gronkowski, one of my favorite players to watch. We have Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson, also one of my favorite players to watch and play with Madden. You know, I love seeing him when he gets a long run. His head starts bobbing. And that's when you know he's in that mode. You know, shout out AP. Last but not least, we have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers on the Jets and Steelers doesn't do the justice that he did in Green Bay. Green Bay, I hated the Packers at one point because of him. Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. I love Clay Matthews, B.J. Raji, A.J. Hawk, Nick Collins, Tramon Williams. I'm going back, but this is my time. You know, I really was growing to watch football and love football. Aaron Rodgers had a way of making just the toughest plays look so effortless, just flicking the ball, discount, double check. And one thing about the Packers was, I just noticed, like, when their helmet is in the light, I don't know if you guys can see it, it has like a nice sparkle to it, you know? I just pick up on those little things. But Aaron Rodgers, he just always played some of his best games against us, you know? And, oh my God, the play action boot, post route to Jordy, I hated it. James Jones. They used to give us the fits, even though we did beat them in the playoffs. But they used to kill us, the Packers, with Aaron Rodgers. So shout out to those guys. Those are just some of the exciting names and exciting players that I was thinking of throughout the years. Of course, you know, Jerry Rice, Tom Brady. We spoke about Tom Brady, of course. Lawrence Taylor, but just some, maybe guys that we may have forgot about throughout the years. Back to last week's games, the Chiefs lost to the Broncos 22-19. They fall to 5-5. This is the remaining schedule. Hear me out. This weekend they face the Colts. Then they face the Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, and Raiders. Out of those games, I got Texans, Titans, and Raiders as automatic W's. The rest, we have to see. If I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm pumping my brakes until this weekend. If you beat the Colts, because you're favored to win by 3.5, if you beat the Colts, you're in good shape. But if you lose to the Colts, that's when the DEFCON 5 alarm has to be rung, because, whoa, 5-5 is crazy. I'm sure he hasn't been 5-5 on the Chiefs ever. You know what I'm saying? Especially this late in the season, fighting for a 500 record is crazy. Like I said, they've been AFC Championship and Super Bowl ever since he's been in the league since 2018. So they know nothing but gold. The Colts is going to be an interesting one. The Colts won an overtime game against the Falcons last week, so they're feeling good. But I have to roll with the Chiefs here. I think they're just the most easiest team to trust this late in the season. So I got to roll with the Chiefs on that one. Broncos have been given a run for their money, but I don't see the Broncos sweeping the Chiefs at all. The Chiefs are the champs in the AFC, for that matter. Eagles, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and they're the champs in the AFC. So you have to take it from them. They're not going to give it to you. And, we'll see how the cookie crumbles, but everybody wants to see the Chiefs in the playoffs. Come on now. I have to check the odds to see what's their percentage to get into the playoffs is odds-wise, or to miss it. I'm sure it's plus money still. It's 7 games left. Like I said, if I'm a Chiefs fan, relax. 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 Next game I want to talk about is the Lions and Eagles. Eagles win again. Tight game. Another lackluster, mundane game. But what I want to talk about is, though, the Eagles are hands down the best team in the league. For all intents and purposes, the Lions had a chip on their shoulder going into this game. Last week they put the paws on the Commanders. That was their last year's divisional matchup, and this year, obviously everybody said, oh, if the Lions were healthy, they would have beat the Commanders. They would have beat the Eagles. The Lions were healthy today, and they lost to the Eagles. So, Dan Campbell, you might put too much on your shoulder with the play calling. I'm not sure. We're talking about the Lions here, who are one of the most high-flying, high-powered offenses in the league. We're talking about a team who averages 29 points a game. They only scored 9 points. Good luck. That might be a concerning game, because the NFC North, it's a very tough division. The Lions are third in their division right now. You got the Packers, then you got the Bears. Very tough division. But like I said, the Eagles are the best team in the league. They just find their ways to win. I really want to block out. If I'm in that locker room, block out the outside noise. You're winning. Usually, when you're complaining, that comes with the losses. Granted, you're trying to get in front of it, because, if you do lose, the roof is going to fall. You got injuries happening. You got Lane Johnson going down. But I think the Eagles will be okay. I really don't see nobody in the NFC challenging them. I just don't. I thought it was the Lions. I thought the Lions was going to be their best hope. But the Eagles are getting healthy. They just made a trade for Jalen Phillips. They got Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander is retired or something. He's on a sabbatical. But yeah. Eagles, I don't see anybody. You tell me. I don't know. I thought maybe Green Bay could. No. I thought maybe Detroit could. No. Chicago, no. Buccaneers, no. We got the Rams. The Rams could possibly give them a run for their money, but we'll see. It's tough. It's tough. I for sure don't want to see Philly win. Being a Giants fan, I hate them, but you got to start tipping your cap when a team consistently wins. Ugly games, close games, blowout games. We have the script on them now. It's not like this is their first year. This team been around for a couple years now, so we should have a recipe to beat them, but nobody can. It's hard to beat them. Um, Philly faces Dallas next week. America's Game of the Week, 425. I believe that's on Fox. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a very good game. Dallas, of course, Dallas fans, we're going to get into that game a little bit later, but Dallas fans being Dallas fans, as soon as they win a game, they're pushing to the A block, and they're Super Bowl contenders now. All of a sudden, golly, it's crazy. The Lions. I want to go back to the Lions because that NFC North division is tight, and we're gonna last seven games. We're gonna see who's the realest team of them all. The Lions' remaining games are the Giants this week coming up, Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Pittsburgh, Vikings, and Bears to close it out. The automatic dubs that I have for them is Giants, Pittsburgh, Vikings, and Bears. You got the Packers, Cowboys, and Rams. All of those games besides the Giants are up in the air. We're going to see who the realest team of them all is right now. The Bears' remaining games are Pittsburgh, Philly, Green Bay, Browns, Green Bay again, 49ers, and Lions. Out of all of these teams, Packers, Bears, and Lions, we trust the Bears the least. That's why they have the highest odds to get into the playoffs, even though they're 7-3. But out of those games, they can possibly just win one, and that's Pittsburgh. Even the Browns is going to be a tough game because Mr. Throw your wrist up, Mr. 12. Now Dylan Gabriel's back there. Who knows? But they're not being Shedeur Sanders. We're going to see what Caleb Williams is made of. We're going to see. We're going to see what the Packers are made of as well, too, because they've been flying under the radar, but they haven't been impressive. Have you guys been impressed? I haven't been impressed at all. The Packers' remaining games are the Vikings next week. I count that as a dub. Lions, I count that as an L. Bears again. We have Bears twice, We have Bears, Broncos, Bears, Baltimore, Vikings. That's a tough schedule. I think the NFL's in a really good place. There's only a couple very bad teams. Browns, Raiders, Jets. That's really it. Browns, Raiders, and Jets. That's it. But the Browns are a tough out. Jets are a tough out too. But we're gonna see what the Bears are made of. I'm interested. Interested to see. I want to see Micah Parsons make some plays, some game-winning plays, like disrupt the game. Micah, they traded 2 first-round picks for you, kid. Come on. What are we doing? We said we were gonna go into the Cowboys game Monday night. To be honest, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. See, so what I did was I didn't just watch the regular sports broadcast with ESPN. I watched both. I watched the Peyton Manning and Eli Manning version, and I watched the regular version as well. The first drive of the game was weird. No CeeDee Lamb, no Pickens. They kind of pushed it away, put it under the pillow with their play throughout the rest of the game. It was high flying. It was pick 'em. You want the ball? You want the ball? You want the ball? Okay, Javonte Williams. Okay, got it. Okay, Flournoy. Okay, Ferguson. Okay, just pick your poison. The offense looked amazing, but I want to pump your brakes. It was against the Raiders, guys. It was against Geno Smith. It was against a very bad team in general. It's not offense, it's not defense, but the Raiders are bad. But the Cowboys needed that. That can be a morale-lifting game, especially after the tragic passing of Marshawn Kneeland. Rest in peace. You've seen a very nice tribute, and they paid tribute to him throughout the game. They played their hearts out, all 3 phases, special teams, offense, defense. They played very well. I want to say Geno Smith. For as long as you've been in the league, that's some bad QB play, man. I was rooting for you because you got paid again in Vegas, another starting opportunity. But it might be time for them to move on from you. You tried to force too many plays. This game could have been closer than what it was. Um, like I said, just very bad quarterback play. Could have took a dump down. Shout out to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning has a great way of breaking it down and just like, okay, he could have did that, but he doesn't want to be too hard on the quarterbacks. But they had a great interview on ESPN with Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. They was interviewing George Bush, the former president, and he's a great storyteller. He just seems like a very cool guy, a very cool cat, and somebody you could just have a beer with and just have a conversation with, you know. Um, it was one story where he was talking about how Peyton Manning came to the White House and they, the Queen Elizabeth visited the White House and was at a table, and it was all sitting at the table. Peyton Manning said he was sitting in the far back of the room, but he said George Bush introduced him and I told him like the conduct to addressing the Queen. He said Americans don't bow, such and such, but you know, it was a great story. But he said a jockey came up to him and just was saying funny stuff to her or something like that. But he's a great storyteller. I enjoyed the interview, and I really don't watch that broadcast, but I stumbled across it, and it was a good story. I enjoyed it. Peyton Manning's a great storyteller in general. He was one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch back in the day, and I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed watching CeeDee Lamb score. I like CeeDee Lamb. I like seeing Dak Prescott do well. I've been rooting for him ever since he took over with Tony Romo. But that's as far as it goes with the Cowboys love. You guys stink. Let's be clear here. The Cowboys, like I said, they face Philadelphia next weekend. And it's going to be a tough game for them. But they always split one game with Philly. Dak Prescott usually gets hurt too. Like the game before Philly or something like that. So him able to play is amazing. When he's out there, he can beat Philly. He's beaten Philly before. But they don't have Mike at this time. Dallas is also getting healthy at the right time. They have Malik Hooker come back, Demarion Overshown, the young stud linebacker. Quentin Williams is making a muck down there, and now their defensive tackle duo with Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams, it's making the game really easy for their defense to play. So Cowboys could be, I'm not saying they're going to go to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. But they have the best wide receiver duo in the league, a top 10 quarterback in the league, a decent running back. Anything is possible. So we'll see. We'll see. Next, I want to get into some college basketball. Syracuse basketball, they're 4-0 right now. They just scraped a close game against Monmouth. They was favored to win by like 30 points or something like that, but they only won by 5, I believe. Shout out to Cayenne Anthony. He is averaging 14 points a game right now. But his next 3 slates of games, you have number 2 Houston, Kansas, and then Tennessee. Get your popcorn ready. That's going to be your biggest test. I don't know if he's going to go one and done. I don't think he's built into that yet. But Houston, Kansas, and Tennessee, Jesus. That's going to be really close. Over the past couple of days, we had Duke versus Kansas. It was supposed to be an amazing showdown, but Darren Peterson was missing that from that game. He's number 1 overall projected pick. Him and Cameron Bruiser. Cameron Bruiser did his thing. He had a double-double. They covered the spread 10.5. That was really it. It's hard to judge a team when, your best player is out. So that was fun. NBA. Man. I'm trying to be humble. but the Lakers are really playing good ball. We wanted DeAndre Ayton or a center of his caliber last year. Now we got him. LeBron got about 3 weeks of rest. We might be one of them. We might be one of them. We shall see. LeBron returned against the Jazz, and he's going to keep his 10-point streak alive, even though it was close. But he had a double-double. He wasn't really trying to score that much. Take your time, LeBron. We're good. We don't really need you to score 30. Just give us a cool maybe 21, 22 rebounds and assists. Flirt with a triple-double every game. And that'll be great. He's still, LeBron James. His IQ is it's probably the best in the league. So, just having him on the floor makes a lot of things easy. Luka, I think he's leading the league in scoring right now, him and Shea. So I'm just ready for Luka to take the keys from LeBron and just lead this team the way it is. This is going to be Luka and Austin Reeves' show. LeBron is 41 years old. We cannot expect him to be our star. It's not the case anymore. Over the past weekend, and you guys probably seen it too throughout the week, Steph Curry's new commercial. Steph Curry has been in the news, obviously, for his release from Under Armour, and now he's a sneaker free agent. Most likely he's going to sign with Nike. But his commercial brought up some feelings for me. And, he's been in the league, he said he's been in the league for 17 years. In the league for 17 years. Same coach for 11 years. And I'm like, wow. First of all, Steve Kerr been coaching for 11 years, man. And yeah, he's been in the league. They won a championship in 2015, 2016. You do the math. It's just been amazing to watch the rise of the Warriors and Steph Curry. We're talking about a player who is not supposed to have this stardom. I mean, he went to Davidson. His injuries with the ankles. He couldn't get out of the first round ever. He was stuck facing the Clippers. Remember those days with Mark Jackson? This has been a pleasure to watch him play. He's changed the game of basketball. Everybody wants to shoot the three-point shot now. So many memories, to be honest with you, I cried when he broke the three-point record because I'm like, wow, we're never going to experience this again in our lifetime. So I just was feeling very it feels more than basketball with him. It's like poetry, especially the buzzer beaters, just watching him run around. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He's very relatable, so just watching that commercial, I'm like, okay, this is pointing towards the end too. It's like, dang, man, because he's always been the babyface assassin, And I remember one time, not even just one time, when they were surging up, when they were skyrocketing, and this was their championship year, but nobody knew they was going to the championship, of course. Charles Barkley said, just like everybody, you live by the three, you die by the three. And this was also the season where the Phoenix Suns were running three guards with Eric Bledsoe, Goran Dragic, and Isaiah Thomas. And, it was just a lot of flux in the league. And, still had LeBron with the Heat balling out. But nobody expected this. The three-point barrage, usually if a team shoots a lot of threes, they lose because it was gimmicky, You take their mid-range, you get inside, you take your layup. But just three-point barrages, that was unheard of. And just seeing a rise and just seeing the game change, salute to Steph Curry, salute to the Warriors, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, Andrew Bogut, Festus Ezeli. Who else can we say? Brandon Rush, Leonardo Barbosa, David West. Let's see how far else we could go. How far? Sean Livingston. That's about it. Anderson Varejao. I'm not saying number 35's name, Mr. KD, because those are irrelevant championships. Yeah, just, shout out to the Warriors. I want to talk about Detroit basketball. I believe they're currently sitting at 13-2. Whoa. If this is the year to do it, Detroit, this is the year, Do it. Cade is getting his first signature shoe. Great logo, by the way, the double C, making a star. That's tough. The league is in good shape. The league is in good shape. I will say, I just watched the Houston Rockets and Cleveland Cavaliers game. And, sometimes it's hard to stay engaged in the NBA game. It really is. Just because of the three-point barrage, everybody style-wise plays the same, So it's like, I'll tune in here and there, but just watching the whole game, it's kind of hard. I must admit. But nonetheless, basketball is basketball. It's good to have basketball back. I'm enjoying it. Can't wait to see LeBron flourish some more and get his, his wings under, air in his wings. And, yeah. The moment you've all been waiting for. Shedeur Sanders. Last weekend, he was thrown into the fire. He got burnt. I believe that is one of the most challenging teams to face in your first game. You played a half, you got thrown in a little bit after half, and you're facing the Baltimore Ravens who have to win this game. And they're throwing the kitchen sink at you. I'm seeing lineups, I'm like, whoa. 8 on the line, 3 coming out, 8 blitzing, slot corners is blitzing. Jesus Christ. And then you're playing for the Cleveland Browns. They're not doing you any justice. They're not helping you out. Jerry, Judy, I just hope that the guy succeeds. Talking about Shedeur, because he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks that I've ever seen. Like I've said before, when he gets his rhythm, when he figures it out, and I think he is now. I'm going to put him in there now. He's a top 5 quarterback. He just has to figure it out. That's all. But give him some opportunities, because Dillon Gabriel is not playing to such level where it's like, okay, we're rocking with Dillon Gabriel. No, give Shedeur some reps too, please. But now he has an opportunity to play against the Raiders and, make something happen. Both 2-8 teams. So we'll see. But just watching the game, it felt like a younger brother was playing, or just an extended family member that you're just proud to watch play, and you're just rooting for him. You get emotional. I wish he would have connected with the pass in the back of the end zone to Isaiah Bond. That would have been legendary. But he'll have more moments to come like that. I'm glad that he did fail first, because he knows what it feels like. You have to humble yourself. It's not going to come easy. This is the NFL, and this isn't no storybook. You have to earn it, So coming into this week, a full week of practice. What can I say? I'm a Shedeur Sanders guy. I think he's going to succeed. I think he's going to blow the roof off. I just hope his team helps him out. That's it. I was listening to the Chase Daniel podcast, and he's been a quarterback for 20 years, like he said. And he said it was one part, when he was showing the breakdowns of the plays, and he had like the 8 guys on the line. He said, "This is crazy." He's been playing the game for 20 years. That lineup to him is crazy. So if it's crazy to him, imagine what it is to Shedeur, who hasn't seen real time against any number one type of defense or offense with offense. Jeez Louise. But he gave him a fighting chance. His O-line has to give him some help. His running back have to get, even though the Browns are 2-8, Shedeur can be a spark to finish the season off strong. The Browns defense is a top tier defense. The Ravens should have lost that game. If the Browns would have just ran the ball, boom, 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 they could have ran the clock out. But they wanted to give Shedeur a chance. They wanted to win the game. They don't want to just, sneak away with it. They wanted to win it. Salutes to them. But I'm rooting for the Browns. I'm a Giants fan, but it's always Shedeur. I'm with you. Legendary. Let's do it. Next week, the Browns face the Raiders. Like I said, the Browns are favored to lose that game by 4. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know if that's a mind games because these sports books are smart and they will, marquee matchups or marquee teams like the Lakers, the Giants, the Knicks, Yankees, etc. They're going to tweak it. They're going to make these games look a certain way so that sports bettors can, especially the casual fan, oh, I think he's going to do good or I think he's going to do bad. They want the public to lose. That's how the sports books make their money. Next, we have Pittsburgh versus Chicago. Chicago is favored to win by 2.5. Rodgers is questionable with his wrist injury. To me, Chicago, this is a must-win game. The rest of your schedule doesn't do you any favors. You have to win this game, Chicago. This is the opportunity to put yourself in position to be in the playoffs. What do you want to do? You tell me. It's going to get very windy, very cold in Chicago. The game going to slow down. Mistakes. You cannot make mistakes, Caleb. Them average throws, you can't do it. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think Chicago will win this game. But if you do think Aaron Rodgers is not going to play, or if he's going to be limited, take Chicago now while that spread is at 2.5. Next, we have Green Bay versus Minnesota. Green Bay is favored to win by 6.5. JJ McCarthy is starting to show his stripes. Is he the guy? Oof. We seen what Sam Darnold did with the same team last year. They went 14-2. Very big mistake to let him and Daniel Jones go out of that quarterback room. They gave JJ McCarthy the keys to do. Right now, he's not playing to that expectation. You've got to go Green Bay with that. But Green Bay, this is a must-win game because you have not been impressive. Your division is tight. You got Packers, yourself. You got Chicago and Detroit. 3 teams aren't going to make it to the playoffs this year in the NFC. It's going to be too tight. You got San Fran. You got the Cowboys coming up. You got Buccaneers. You got the Panthers. Oof, it's going to be tough. Philly, Rams. It's going to be tough to get in there. Next game we have is the Chiefs versus the Colts. Chiefs. Chiefs are favored to win by 3.5. This is a must-win game. Need I say more? Colts, you have the opportunity to do something very cool here. You can put yourself in that category of we're a serious team. We're not just fluky. Because most of the teams that they have beat are fluky teams. They aren't playoff teams. So if you beat the Kansas City Chiefs in a must-win game, and it's at Kansas City, okay, now we're talking. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited for that game. I'm excited for the Philly game. I'm excited for the Browns and Raiders. Browns are visiting the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders are covered to win by 4. You know who I'm standing with. It's not even a question. Shedeur Sanders, it's already written. This is a legacy game. You got to take this opportunity and run with it. It's going to be legendary. I can't wait. Honestly, the hate, and this is why I love social media to a certain extent, is because if we did not have podcasts where people had their own platform to talk and so on and so forth, we would be only going off of the main media like ESPN, where they're not giving Shedeur a shot. They're not really open to him, you know? But different platforms, you listen to Speakeasy, you listen just other podcasts, you listen to other streams. That are open-minded, you know? I'm going with the Browns. Next game we have is Philly and Dallas. Like I said, besides the Colts and Chiefs game, I'm very excited for this Philadelphia game. This game is at 3.5, going Philly's way. It's at Dallas. Dallas is coming off of an impressive win against the Raiders. How impressive is that? We don't know. But division games are always fun. Philly and Dallas is always fun, especially when Dak Prescott is playing. Jalen Hurts is playing. So this is going to be exciting. I'm going to go Philly -3.5. I'm going to go Philly -3.5. I think it's going to be a shootout. Actually, no. I'll go Dallas for 3.5 because I think Philly wins by a field goal. They're either going to win by a field goal or they're going to win by 4. It's going to be tight. So it's just like, if you want to put Dallas if you want to tease it up to 7.5, I wouldn't be mad at you. Dallas plus 7.5 seems like a very good bet because it's going to be close. Next game we have is Tampa Bay at Rams. It's the Sunday night game at Rams in LA. Rams is favored to win by 6.5. Are the Buccaneers starting to teeter off the road? What's going on over there? They've been losing a lot lately. 6-5, 6-4. Ugh. Panthers are on their butt. They faced the Panthers twice in the next 7 games. It can't go either way. I'm going the Rams. I think the Rams just slice them up. I think it's just going to be too easy for them. The Buccaneers defense gave up 40 points to the Bills. Ooh, good luck. Matthew Stafford is playing at an MVP level. Puka Nacua is healthy. Devontae Adams is healthy. The Rams are just, they're doing their thing. They haven't really been tested too much. But I think they will. The division is kind of tight. You got Seattle, 49ers. That division is who's going to make it, who's going to be the toughest in that division as well, too. The Seahawks kind of played themselves last week against the Rams. So, we'll see. This was a great week of sports. A great weekend. We're going to another great weekend of sports. Tune into the Devin Haney and Brian Norman fight if you're not doing anything. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, like, comment, subscribe, and share. I want to build this community. If your group chat loves talking sports, send it to your group chat. If your friends love talking sports, co-workers, send it around. Tell me your thoughts. I love to go back and forth. I love to talk sports, boxing, whatever, football, basketball, even TV shows. Let's see. Movies-wise, there haven't been a lot of good movies. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Now You See Me, Now You Don't was just released. I can't wait to go see that. But can't wait for Stranger Things that comes out November 26th. That's going to be very good. It's been so good, though, but it's been so long that, I have to rewatch the last season. So, man, I can't wait. It's been about, 2 years? 2 or 3 years since the last season? Matter of fact, guys, comment and tell me what you guys think of, what are your top 5? If you've made it this far on the show, this is just a fun part of it now. Comment your top 5 shows that you maybe ever watched or what you're watching right now. Suggest something new to me that I haven't watched. I'm not currently watching anything right now. Not at the moment. So, shoot over your current TV digs or movie digs that you're loving right now. With that being said, it was great talking to you guys. See you soon. Salute.